Good morning. Happy Saturday and happy weekend for everyone. I hope everyone is well and big up to everyone in here. I'm being guessed by my two lovely guests today with Mia. How are you? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. It's lovely weather here, apart from the fact that my hair does not like this warm weather. Like, honestly, it's not good. But yeah, it's nice.
Thank you. Good. And Barry, always a regular here and always here trying to take the mick out of my begging skills. How are you doing, mate?
Well, excluding the intro, less than a minute, and you've already started. So,
Joe, we're going to call him El Bego. That's what we're going to call him.
The begging
El
TV.
Fabrizio Beggino.
Oh man, honestly, much love to you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. And big up. We're also on Facebook today. I've set it up so we're live on Facebook. There's one of you on Facebook. So if you're watching on Facebook, chuck yourself in the chat and I will give you a shout out if you're watching over on Facebook.
Make sure you subscribe first.
Make sure you go over to YouTube and subscribe because the road to 1K is on, baby. We're nearly there. Let's see though who we've got in the chat. We've got Mr. Cousins, always here. How are you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. RB, hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're well. Who else we got? We've got Bobby K, my mate Bobby K. Hope you're doing, mate. Hope you're good. You've got Rob Andrews. Hope you're well. You've got Revenite. Big up to you. Is it Naru91? Hope you're well. We'll pick up on this because we're going to be talking about Mickey van der Ven very shortly. Season 4, hope you're well. Yeah, the beggar peasant Perchy. God, don't start that one because they'll be calling me that all the time. Who else we got? We've got Full Ball, hope you're well. It's not my birthday today. But you can wish me happy birthday if you want, but it's not my birthday.
Birthdays now, bloody hell.
I mean, I'll take the birthday.
He thinks he's like the king, gets 2 birthdays.
El Bego, big up, Phil, mate, my mate. Big up, hope you're doing well, mate. Big up, Video Complete, Sofian, hope you're well. Big up, Villa, was it 1982? Hope you're well. Big up. Ola Senor Purge, big up Juicy over on Twitch. If you're over there, go and subscribe over on Twitch as well, because we might as well go and beg for Twitch as well. And who else we got? We've got is it Prashnath? Is that how you say it? Lol, big up, mate. Hope you're well. And big up Singing Nettle. Exactly. Until peace time. 50 more subscribers until you get peace and quiet from me. Big up to you all. Yeah, big up, Phil. Love you, mate. Who was I just pinned it from Naru here? Big point. News has come out by Fabrizio Romano that Tottenham are in for Vicky van der Ven, there was news yesterday that there was another hidden defender that Spurs are after. And I'm assuming this is the defender. This is a player that was heavily linked by Liverpool for a very long time. And I think he still is. What are your guys' thoughts on him? And I just realised my mic's not connected up, so I'll do that whilst you talk.
Yeah, I think he'd be a very good player. Very, very good. He's strong and he's a big boy as well. Then we keep going. We're going for these really big centre backs. Like if you've noticed, we are going for like a really like certain type. So yeah, it's exciting to be linked to someone like him. Again, it just feels like it's all hotting up, isn't it? Like it's all hotting up.
It's all getting exciting, but we'll probably moan about it for some reason.
Somehow.
He's played in Germany, so that doesn't class him as good to play in the Prem. I don't know.
But that's exactly it, though. That's the thing is that the narrative seems to be if he's not played in the Premier League, he's not good enough. I mean, the amount of players, that endless list of players that I can list off, that never happened. That was never a thing. So I just find at the moment that I think this lad has been linked with some big football clubs. He's now linked with Tottenham. And he's not just linked with Tottenham. Romano's tweeting let me just read out what Romano did say about this lad. Exclusive. Tottenham have included Mickey van der Ven into the shortlist of centre-backs, along with Edmund Tapsoba, as both are appreciated by the club. Talks already took place for Wolfsburg's centre-back representative Mino Raiola, which means this isn't just a rumour. This is Spurs have started the preliminary talks with the agent about the player. So for me, I think this could be a really good thing. I think this is a player that has been linked heavily elsewhere. He's a young lad, so we're not talking about an old defender. This is a young defender that has a lot of potential. Now, Now, for me, I think this is exactly the route we should be going down. Exactly the route we should be going down. Again, I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you think this player fits into our team?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, look, Perchy, I think there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, obviously, in terms of what's going on. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens and how they come out. But I hope the mystery defender is not a Clement Longley. So.
Well, I don't think that's a mystery. I think the club were very active
Yeah.
the club have been very active in trying to get basically an actual bargain deal on.
Yeah, I mean, look, 5 million. I'm not actually upset as a backup, but I wouldn't want him being the starter. So
no, I mean, yeah, I think the only issue I have with the backup quote is I just think is Clement Longley any better than what we've got in the team right now? Not really. I think he's probably on the level of a Sanchez, maybe a little bit better. For me, if we're going to keep a backup, I'd actually, again, don't quote me on this, but this is a hypothetical, that I'd actually rather just keep a hold of one that we've got short term until the end of maybe next season, than bring in Longley, put him on a 3-year contract, and then in a year or so, we have to try and get rid of him again. Does that kind of make sense? I'd kind of take the short-term pain of keeping a Sanchez or a Dyer. Not that I want him to stay at this football club at all, but in the presence that we don't go and give another.
Don't say you want to keep Dyer or Sanchez.
I don't want to keep Dyer or Sanchez.
That's what you just said for a year.
So,
yes, you did. Don't be in the mud.
I know what you're doing, Barry. Stop it, because you're going to trigger the comments, and then everyone's going to go mental. Oh, Percy wants Dyer to stay. No, I don't.
I'm going to clip that. I'm going to clip it and put it out there.
Can I just say, your channel has now just become about mocking me at the moment. You're going to put another video on me.
Yeah.
The begging TV. No, but my point being, my point, serious point on this is more. I don't want a Longley in on a 3-year contract, for argument's sake, because for me that just stinks. And then we get to the end of next year, and then we've got to get rid of him again because we can't deal with him. Like, as I said, I would rather the short-term pain. I'd rather us not sign him and keep one we've got for the short term that we can get rid of in a year's time, that will go on a free transfer, just so we don't go and put him on in a the longevity of these players. I want to get these players out as quick as possible. It won't take immediately, but you know what I mean. Mia, again, what would you do? If we talk about Longley, what are your thoughts? Do you want him back in this club?
Do you know what? I kind of get why you're saying what you're saying. Like, the logic to it. I get the logic to it. I don't want Longley. Nah, I feel like that. If he was going to come, it would have to be like a real cheap third option in case somebody was injured. Like, I wouldn't want him to be starting. I wouldn't want him near that first team. You know, like he'd just be in and around and on the bench possibly. You know, so. Yeah. I don't want, if he's going to be one of the 2 centre backs, or if we do sign 2 or 3, I don't want him to be one of the ones that's an important signing, if that makes sense. Agreed. Like someone who's going to be the first, like, look to be, he can start. No. I don't want that. But I don't think the club are thinking that, because of the other ones we're looking at. I don't believe that to be true. I really don't, because of the other ones that we've been linked with. So I think that I would rather, I know what you're saying, like, but it's so hard because I just want Dyer and Davies gone, man. Yeah, thank you to Mark for that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I would rather Dyer and Sanchez gone, you know, like, it's so hard because I just want them out of the club. And I don't. Do you know what? The reason I wouldn't do that is because of their attitudes. I feel like that Sanchez wants to go anyway, and with Dyer, I feel like he's a bit of a bad egg around the others, and I feel like that's why I ultimately want him out, if that makes sense. More so.
Do you know what? I wouldn't necessarily the bad egg, but I think what it is he has a lot of power in this team, and unfortunately, I wouldn't necessarily. I get what you're trying to say, but I wouldn't say he's a bad egg. But I would say that the problem is he holds a lot of weight in the dressing room, and you don't really want that with somebody of his quality. You want your best players holding all the power and stuff. And when players have a longevity at a football club, they just naturally progress at the top of the pack socially in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why I want players like that to be gone. He's got to go. He's got to go. Video complete. Sofian, I love your name again, by the way. We're linked with Jared Bowen. Personally, I wouldn't go for him. Really? I mean, I don't think
we're not linked. Come on, man. There's just I saw this a minute ago.
You wouldn't have Jared Bowen at Spurs.
No. I don't. No, it was just Charlie Eccleshare giving his opinion. It's like you wanted Dyer and Sanchez to stay. That's your opinion, but now all of a sudden that means that we're being linked to him. Look, he's like Jared Bowen is like I would say it's like I don't know, Harry Kane equivalent at West Ham. Obviously, we know Declan Rice is going. I don't think he's going to leave. He's just, he's going to be kind of their top boy now when Rice goes off to Man City. So, yeah, I don't think so.
I was going to say, trust me, I don't think he will ever leave West Ham right now, for obvious reasons. If you think about who his better half is, I don't think I don't think him leaving West Ham will do any favours for his family, will it? His extended.
Can you imagine Danny Dyer going up to him and being like, "You're leaving West Ham, are you, mate? Are you? Are you really?
And you're leaving for Tottenham? Are you having me on, mate?"
Yeah, it wouldn't end well, would it? Let's be honest.
No. And just to say, it's cool. No, I don't want to keep Dyer and Sanchez. I was trying to make a justifiable point. No, I don't want them. They have to go. Don't listen to what Barry says, because Barry will do anything to get the comments on me. He's doing it on purpose. Mr. Boxer is currently arguing with his reflection. If you haven't, guys, after this and stuff, go and check out. I put a video of a clip yesterday of Mr. Box Office is calling me, Nick, and Sava out to put our convictions on the table. I didn't really know what he meant by it, but I'm assuming he wanted me to say that I believe that and Postecoglou will be here in the last game of the season. So I've accepted the bet. Alex will be wearing another Arsenal shirt. I mean, to be fair, it's an easy bet for him. He always wears an Arsenal shirt. So he wears it for a fiver. I know he wear it for €10 last time. So he's doing it for this one. So for me,
how can you even be near? How can you even be close proximity? When I go into shops, I walk around the shops so don't go near it.
Listen, Mr. Box Office, big up to you, mate. I accept. I put it out. I've accepted it. I put it out. A little video out. So go and check that out. It's a few minutes on there. No, I don't want Dyer to stay. That's not what I'm saying. People don't listen to what I'm saying. No, this is what Barry does, by the way. I don't want Dyer to stay. But my point being is if it means that we get rid of him now and then we bring Longley in, and then we've got another 3 years with Longley that we can't then get rid of after a year. I don't want Longley coming in. But my point being is if it means that one of Dyer or Sanchez has to stay for 1 more year as just a squad player, I would prefer that, because then at the end of the season we can go. He goes on a free transfer. Let's be frank and honest. We're more likely going to end up probably having to keep one of them anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
And then go. And that, I think I'm talking in reality than talking about what I want. I don't want Dyer or Sanchez to stay at all. I think they're absolutely horrendous defenders. But I'm just thinking about what the club will try and look at doing.
I love it now. Everyone in the comment asking you why you want them to stay.
I know they're doing it on purpose. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not liking that. You're doing it on purpose. This is it.
I already gave you a wave, but I'll give you another one, football. Big up
Coos, but I hope you're doing well, mate. Let me know if you want to come on. You're always welcome on. Whichever one of you it is, I never know. There's 3 of you guys, and I never know which one is when I'm talking to you guys. But massive shout to you guys. Hi Perchy, because we're linked to him, I'll give an opinion. He's decent, good set. I'm assuming you're talking about Van der Ven. I'm assuming. Yeah, he was linked with Liverpool. He's good. He'd suit under Postecoglou. Agreed. Young, hungry. He looks like a good defender. I don't see why not. Morning, bird. Big up, David. Hope you're well, mate. Who else we've got? I'm Welsh, so biased, but please don't think Davis gets the credit he deserves. He's a team player. Never gives less than 100%. Yeah, but Robbie's not great, is he? I get your point. He does put a lot of effort in. He's hard working. That's why Davis is on the list. Is one of the last I'd say to get rid of. I think there's so many more that we would get rid of. And listen, hear me out. I would rather keep hold of Ben Davis. Okay, this is what I was saying earlier. I would keep a hold of Ben Davis and not sign Longley. That would be be my compromise. If it meant keeping Ben Davis for a year, I'd rather keep Ben Davis and sign Clement Longley on a 3-year contract. That's where I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, no, I agree with
Longley's
Davies.
Phil, Longley's already gone. Diane Sanchez have to go. But my point being is if we sign Longley again, we keep
going, people. Keep going in the chat. I love this. Keep going.
Do you know what Davies is? Davies is more like vanilla ice cream. He's there if you need something, you're desperate to eat ice cream, but you don't really want vanilla ice cream because it's just boring, isn't it? That's what I say is. He's a bit vanilla.
Yeah. Mate, I'm trying to. What was that?
Oh, it's me. Sorry, I kicked something.
Me kick the dog or something.
I never kick my babies.
Don't do Kurt Zuma, Mia, please.
I would never ever harm my dogs. Don't be saying that.
I would like to make a comment. That was not true. That's not true what Mia said. However, everything Perchy is saying about Dyer and
stop it. It's not happening.
There you
okay.
Go.
Let's talk about something else than that. This is what happens. This is why Barry should be banned from my shows now, because he just is an absolute classic wind-up. Because he's not doing any shows until the season starts again. He now decides to just wind me up. Brilliant.
Not just you. I'm winding box office up as well while we're doing it. We're multitasking. going back to Mia's thing. So the quote from Alex this morning. If a Spurs fan talks to me about facts, I will just say, okay, how many trophies have we won? None. Only stat that matters. Simple.
But that doesn't negate other facts just because we haven't won trophies. Just because we've not won trophies, like I say, that doesn't make the other stuff not true.
I know, Mia, but remember, Haaland is above average. So.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Don't start the above average thing. Don't, honestly. Haaland is a machine. How anyone can say anything more. Another player that is obviously massively linked with us at the moment, and talks continue with James Maddison. I mean, I feel like it's on the tip of everyone's tongue about James Maddison now to Spurs is a massive possibility. Newcastle, there's a lot of talk now from the Newcastle sort of journalistic camp saying that they don't see that being an option now for Newcastle, that Tottenham is realistically the only option that James Maddison wants at the moment. For me, I've got a real thought about this. And at the moment, if I was Tottenham, I would try and get this done as quick as possible. Maybe because and the reason why I say that, if Arsenal miss out on the likes of Declan Rice, I could see Arsenal going, do you know what? We're not going to get. We've lost Declan Rice to Man City. Let's go and nick Maddison off Spurs, because on two ways, where he's a great player, and the other part is they want to do one over on us. So it PR wise, it's amazing for Arsenal. We've just done Spurs over on their marquee signing of the season. So I think as Tottenham right now, we need to get this one quickly done.
Well, yeah. Also, Perchy, Arsenal got Champions League football, right? So.
Of course. Oh yeah. No. Of course. I'll be honest. If Arsenal and Spurs are going for a player, they're going to Arsenal. I'm not deluded in that front. We've got no pull when it comes to Arsenal right now. But that's what I mean. If we can get this done quickly before links and talks start happening from the Arsenal camp, we need to get this man signed over and done. But big boss man, you say they've got Odegaard, Havertz is more than enough. But listen, they're going to be in Europe. They go and get another attacking player. It just improves them, and it's a sense. It makes sense for them to go in them. I'm not saying it happens. I'm just saying it's one of those things that in the back of my mind, I think the longer it goes out, the longer it's drawn out, Leicester will be determined to sell to get good money for him. For me, this is where you just got to think about it. You got to think about the landscape, and that's what I mean. That's the way I look at it. Daniel, I didn't say it, and don't do that. Please don't.
Oh, listen to him. Please don't unsubscribe. Please.
Right, everyone that's in the chat, everyone in the chat, right? Please go and unsubscribe now, and then resubscribe at the end of the show. Just because I want to see the meltdown.
Someone actually has unsubscribed. This is ridiculous, guys. Fair play, though. I respect it. Fair play.
I want to see Percy's meltdown, because he's going to go 55 to go, and then it's going to be like 105 to go, and then
Please
in like
don't.
an hour it's going to go back up again.
Barry, the thing is, your voice holds weight. This is what annoys me. People listen to you. Ridiculous. No, listen, I don't want Dyer and Sanchez to stay. For God's sake, listen to what I said. Arsenal will go for Maddison. Wouldn't worry about that. Juice, mate, I know what you mean, but it's always going to be in the back of my mind that I think Arsenal getting one over Spurs, it's the sort of thing that would galvanise a fan base. Would love it. If you know what I mean. If you're going to do great PR, get one over Tottenham if you're Arsenal. Vice versa, by the way. If Tottenham did it to Arsenal, an Arsenal player that was heavily linked with him, we would all have absolute going over joys, depending on what it is.
Yes, big boss man. How are they really going to cope with just those two in midfield with all the games that they've got?
But why?
Arsenal want to spend like 400 million. Of course, they go and spend.
Arsenal are doing business at the moment. They're doing good business. As I said, what we're trying to say is we're not trying to sit there and say
Xhaka's going as well. I know they're all different players. Xhaka's supposed to be going as well.
Okay, two of you have now unsubscribed. Sorry, I've got to jump in. Please don't do that. Come on, it was just a joke. Come on, I was trying to make a valid point, but Barry, tell them to subscribe now. They'll do what you say. That's what happens.
And people literally unsubscribe.
Honestly, come on, guys, man.
Oh shit! 11 people unsubscribed.
Man, it's actually amazing. Come on, guys.
Oh, guys, please, because he's going to be moaning.
Be longer moaning
about me going, oh, Barry comes on. People listen to Barry, and now oh my god, that's funny actually.
You guys, man, I love this chat. You guys are cool though. I love it. It's all fun. It's all part of the fun.
Oh shit! 941 Perchy is dropping.
Oh my god, you lot are actually killing me. Come on, man. Oh, this is ridiculous. Let's get back on topic, guys. Come on, man. There's no need for this. We're here for the fun now. I respect it. I do not own an Eric Dyer shirt. Stop making this stuff up. God's sake. The annoying thing
this all started when you started saying you wanted to get Eric Dyer.
You look, man.
For another season. Nobody heard the context, mate. They just heard you wanted them to stay.
Do you know what he did? In the background, he showed us his Eric Dyer shirt that he kissed it, He kissed it and then hid it because he didn't want you guys to know.
Savage, man. Road to no subs. That's what it feels like.
It's 937 now.
Oh,
you lost 20 subs.
Stop lying, wifey. I do not. You know I don't. Stop that.
Yes.
I can't go.
I love it.
I can't go.
See? Even Susie's on board. She knows the truth. Pick up Susie.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, I'm actually sweating right now. This is killing me. Oh, you guys are evil, man. But listen, we try and get on a. Okay, how about this? Can I get your subscription back if I say that I don't want Longley, Sanchez, Dyer, all these? I don't want them at the club anymore. No more. Done. I change it.
Just go over. Get over and sub to me because if I get to 1,000 before Perchy, now that would be funny.
Oh my god,
guys! Listen. I love you guys.
I can't cope. I literally can't cope.
This is the funniest stream I've ever done. I'm crying. It's that funny. I'm actually crying because I thought. But listen, try and get back on topic. Go on. Okay, listen. How about this? I want Spurs to sign Mickey van der Ven. I want him to sign Tosin Adebayo and Tapsoba, because that way then we don't have Dyer, Sanchez, or Longley at the club. For me, and serious point though, like I know we're having a laugh, it's all good, but genuinely, I've said all along, I do want us to try and get 3 defenders in. Personally, I'll be honest, I want us to get 3 defenders in, and I've said this all along. I've said Romero is probably the only one I want to stay. The rest I don't want. I'd happily have no more at the club. And my theory is that we need 4 defenders. So we need 4 defenders. So realistically, as I said, we need to buy 3. And if we don't buy 3, we have to look at the other bunch and go, who do you keep a hold of? And that's the concern, really. I don't want us to keep a hold of them. So
He's looking at his numbers. He's looking at the numbers.
Yeah.
He's looking at the numbers still.
It's probably making me sweat, man. Okay, but guys. On a serious level, though, go and subscribe to Mia because we have a little thing. A few of us understand it. We're not going to mention it live on TV. But we've got a thing that we want Mia to do. So you have to go and subscribe to Mia. I'd rather you guys subscribe to Mia than go and subscribe to me right now. Genuinely, go do it.
Oh, see, he's been sweet.
I'm being serious.
Mia is 300 away from Perchy, so we can do it, people.
No, genuinely, Mia does amazing content. So definitely go over and go and subscribe to Barry as well. If we're gonna go, but guys, honestly, but back onto the sort of serious point though we're trying to make though. For me, as I said, I think 3 defenders is such a key point. And Mia, I'd like to get your take. For me, that's how I think we need to be doing 3 defenders, one really good one, and 2 that are young but good enough to improve the squad as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I said 3 when some people were saying 2, but I was like, 3 really, because then we can get rid of the deadwood and have good people. Like if we need someone to come in, we've got someone decent, like that's what we want. So I think 3 is probably realistic, depending. I feel like the money is going to be divided. I feel like there's money at the side for centre backs, money aside for an attacking midfielder. So I feel like that it depends how much of that money is for centre backs. But yeah, I feel like that we can do it. Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate you keep putting my link in. So thank you.
Well done, Mark. You're a
superstar.
Mark is one of the good guys. Honestly, he's everywhere. He's always watching us guys, and he helps us all the channels. Like genuine. Honestly, it's genuine level. Oh gosh! After the Sel Romero, unpopular but better this season than next. If I speak, if I speak, I will get in big trouble. No, listen. I don't think selling Romero right now is going to make sense because if we sell Romero, we then have to go and buy a whole new defense. Realistically, I think Romero, where I criticize the guy, where I do criticize him because I think he's rash, I think he's all over the place. You kind of just need him to be there. Listen, depending how we get on in further on, let's see. But yeah, I think guys, do you agree? Do you think selling him right now is the right idea?
No. We shouldn't sell him now, no.
No.
Definitely not.
Maybe in January.
There's no way many years get taps over Adebayo, Van der Ven in this window, Perchy. You need to wait for why can't it work? I mean, maybe not. If we're going to get 3, because taps over from what I've read is around 50 million. Is only 50 million is going to be, so maybe we get 2. I do get your point, maybe not getting all 3, but if, for example, if we don't get, say, Tapsoba, but we get Adebayo, Van der Ven, and then another or someone like that, I'm not too bothered as long as we get the right 3. For me, the price tag's is irrelevant to me as long as we get the right one for the right system. And genuinely, that's how I think it needs to be.
Do you know what? It comes like so many people are doing this thing with price and they're saying, but the price. But that's what I feel. It's got to be the right player that Ange wants. It doesn't matter. Let's not think about what the price is. As long as it suits Ange, why does it matter? I don't get it.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I think the price, I think people get very, very overzealous about price tags, and I'd like to know your guys' thoughts because I see the second you put an extra 0 next to a player, all of a sudden people think they're amazing. So people think Tapsoba's incredible, and listen, I'm not judging people because I don't know this, but I think people are judging Tapsoba being amazing because he's got a price tag of 50 million quid. However, there's an Italian lad that's got a 20 million price tag that we linked to. I'm not going to butcher. I can't remember his name, and I'm not going to butcher it. But because everyone's not seen at Serie A, I'll go, I don't want him. Because I genuinely think people look at price tags and go, I want them because they've got a bigger price tag. For me, that's not how it should work. Barry, what do you think on that?
I wasn't listening to the question, if I'm honest.
Do you know what? I'll give you a good analogy, right? The analogy is just because Barry's got somebody, a partner, doesn't mean that he's higher in the ratings than me. Like he's a better looking guy than me just because he has somebody, does it? Just because I'm single doesn't mean that I'm not ugly or not liked by anybody. It's just that's the way things are sometimes.
No,
I'm even more confused about what the question was now after this.
Okay, the question was, Barry, I'll explain it again. The question was that do you think when we're linked with players that fans, not everyone, I'm generalizing for a reason, that everyone thinks that because they've got a high price tag, that all of a sudden that basically means that they're going to be a great player. So like I see, we were linked with the Italian lad that was for about 20 million. And then everyone's going, I don't come in because they've never heard of it.
So the answer is, and to include Mia's question, is that I am more attractive than Perchy. You're right, Mia.
No, I honestly, in an honest, a serious way, I think people just get too caught up because look how much they paid. Like other teams have paid for players that have not worked out or been totally overpriced. Where we're like, hold on a minute, why are they paying that much money for this player? That's wild. So a price doesn't really. A price is what a price. It doesn't actually level out. Oh, they're that good because they're this price. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I'll give you 3 players: Davinson Sanchez, Tanguy Ndombele, and Richarlison.
Exactly. We don't do business on that scale of price tag very well. Mark, how are you doing, mate? Welcome on. It's lovely to see you on stream. Hope you're well. What are your thoughts on what we were just talking about? So, do you think that a price tag is important, and do you think that when we start getting linked with players, that fans necessarily look at the price tag and go, well, if he's 50 million, he must be good. Oh, but this guy's only worth 15 million quid. Oh, he's not that good. Is that what's your sort of narrative on or thought process on that?
Well, firstly, I had to come on because it saves putting everyone's links in the chat all the time. Because
basically, we'll go get Ben. Where's Ben?
I don't know. Ben's normally in charge of that. I can't even see because I cast my phone to my TV to watch it. I don't need glasses, but when I look at my phone to find everyone's link, I've got to stick my glasses on. So I thought, stuff that, just jump on.
Perchy's the new Cilla Black.
I know. I think the big boss man wants your DM sliding in the DM. Not. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
What is happening? You lot need to get out of the sun for too long. Honestly, what is happening? Madness.
Well, it's you that's saying that you want to keep Dyer. You know what I mean? Like, it's not us.
Oh no.
The two of you that still haven't subbed back, can you do that now, please? Come on, it's giving me heart palpitations, please. Thank you.
The two. Yeah, there's 2.
We're 2 behind. Come on, there's 2 of you that haven't subbed back, please. What do I have to do? I'll do some.
Oh my God, this guy!
Oh my God, Percy, this isn't OnlyFans, mate. What the fuck?
I want to go back to Mark though. So, Mark,
sorry.
What are your thoughts when it comes to players and stuff? Like when we talk about price tags, do you think a lot of the fan base look at price tags and go, well, he's over 50 million quid, so he must be a good player. Oh, this guy's only 15 million, he can't be that good. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, we're all sort of jealous of that, aren't we, as fans? Like, it's not our money, is it? So it's not our money, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the price is. But, like, you look at our biggest signings. They've not been brilliant. Like, none of them, I don't think. I can't remember. Do you remember one that we paid over 30 million for that's been, like, good?
Should we do this on stream?
Yeah,
if I can get it up quickly.
Yeah.
Let me do it on stream and I'll do it because you can do it on Transfer Market and you can pull up all of Tottenham's highest paid players and we'll go through them together as a foursome and try and work out what our best signings were because I think you're right. I don't think there'll be many out of the top 10 of our highest paid things.
There's none. There's none in the top 10.
Oh, there we go.
Let's do it together. It'll be interesting. Record arrivals. That's what we want to click on.
Is that the one you're on?
Yeah.
Footballtransfer.com.
No,
Other football transfer websites are available.
Here we go. Let me share my screen and present.
Share it, Perchy.
We'll do
Romero
this together.
and Porro are included in that. So I don't think this can be...
There we go.
Here we go.
Zoom in a bit. Okay. Top of the pile. Here you go.
No.
62 million euros. Flop.
But
Fair?
there's no need to even ask, is there?
Flop.
Yeah. I think everyone in the chat, I want to see keep or flop. Will be keep or flop in the chat.
Flip or flop.
Flip or flop. Flip or flop. If he's a flop or if he's good, we keep him. And Ndombele, I think agreement flop.
Yeah.
Richarlison.
Flop.
At the moment.
At the moment, yeah.
Romero.
Flop.
Romero, flip or flop?
Not looks wise, Mia. Not looks wise. He's a flip.
Yeah, not looks wise, Mia.
Wise, he's a flop.
Yeah.
No, he's not a flop playing.
A massive flip flop.
He's not a flop playing wise, as in I feel like this season I'd like to see more of him before I decide on that. And that's me serious about how he plays, not just the way he looks.
To be continued.
Unproven. Romero.
I think you've got to take Richie, Romero, and Porro, those three, to be confirmed.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. We say the same. Davinson Sanchez.
Flop.
Oh, Jesus.
He was good.
He was good. He was half sensible when he first turned up. He had
came
like
in
Toby and
right
that. He had Toby and Jan with him.
Musa Sissoko.
Big Mo.
Big Mo.
Yeah, he was all right.
Based on Newcastle Sissoko, he was a flop.
Yes.
Yeah. Lo Celso.
Flop.
He could score a Rabona though.
Yeah. Dejan Kulusevski.
Lamella.
Yeah, I was going to say that was Lamella.
Oh,
Kulusevski.
sorry.
For the price.
There we go. This is good. Now we're getting a bit naughty.
For the price tag and for what he's done at the start, he's got flip, but he's kind of jury's still out.
Yeah, unproven.
Agreed.
Because you've got the first season and the last half of the first season and the second, last season. It's just it's
yeah. No, I get that. Stephen Bergwijn.
Flop.
Yeah. Although, to be honest, I don't think he was really given a chance. He wasn't really given a chance.
I think he came in and then it kind of he just didn't get an opportunity.
Yeah.
And you know what? And what told me that this lad had something. There's a reason why, by the way. I think he got Player of the Season for Ajax this season. I mean, I know it's a different league, it's a less sort of competitive league, but I think there was genuinely a player there. There was heavy hits at Man United.
Bergwijn was a Manchester City on debut and a Leicester away. He was almost
Leicester.
like a Lucas Moura.
Yeah. Always remember the Leicester game.
Yeah. And okay, he didn't get the chance or he got injured. It was, these things happen, but
is it just me with Bergwijn? I didn't feel like genuinely he was happy to be here. Like, I just don't know. Like, it never felt like he was very genuinely happy to be at Tottenham. I think he was a nice guy and I felt bad for him, but it's just like about his body language that I just don't know.
We sold him under was it Conte? It was under Conte, right? Of course. Yeah, because the Leicester game was under Conte, wasn't it? Of course.
Yeah.
I thought he fell out at Spurs with Conte there. So that was what I think.
Was he the one in the All or Nothing documentary where he was looking for a house? He'd signed in that and he had nowhere to live.
Yes.
It was him, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay, number 10, Roberto Soldado.
Flop.
He looked brilliant on YouTube.
But he was a flop because they were trying to play him up front on his own.
Yes.
Agreed. Yeah, we did not play. We did not give him an opportunity at all. Like he came in, and listen, he came in after scoring a shitload of goals at loads and loads of goals at Valencia. He came in and went, "We're going to play completely a different way, and you've got to try and find a way." Just was never going to work. Reguilon.
His missus is a flip, but he's a flop.
He's a flop.
Yeah, he was all right.
He was all right.
Yeah.
I think he's not very good going forward, but he's better, probably slightly defensively better than what he is going forward.
I just found Reguilon one of those that like came in with a load of promise, didn't he? Because he came on the same time as Gareth Bale, and you kind of went, "Oh, here we go. We've got a player here that's a good player." But he had that all right season under Jose, and then you kind of went, "There's not much more to you." Here we go, Eric Lamela.
Oh, do you know what? He's a flop because he had lots of injuries, but I liked Eric Lamela.
Yeah.
I loved his feistiness. I loved his attitude. And you know what? He loved playing for Tottenham. You can tell he did have genuine wanting to be here. And sometimes, although maybe he was sick a lot and he didn't like sick note 2.0 as someone put, I do feel like that passion wanting to be here just made me really like warm to him. I just couldn't dislike him.
That's the sort of players we need in the team.
I'll be honest, I thought he was a flop.
No. It's just the fact that he wanted to be here.
Yeah, but Mark, I would love to play for Spurs, but I would be terrible. Do you know what I mean? I would be on the pitch and I would love every minute of it, but that's such a poor metric.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but don't forget how many players we complain that don't look like they give a damn.
Yeah.
No, I get. I accept that.
Well, Don Belly's one.
No, I get that. That's a different matter.
It's the Argentinian argument that they look like they care, but actually they'd rather be playing for Argentina.
Yeah,
that's the thing that done me. When Argentina play, suddenly they're fit, and then when they come back, they're out for 6 weeks.
Yeah, no, I do think he's a flop, kind of like player-wise. He didn't get because he was injured and that. But I can't be horrible to Lamela because I just got a special little place. I love the way the picture. What was it? Who was it? The Arsenal player sitting on the floor and he was like shouting at him. Yes, I love that.
But this is exactly the debate that I have about Romero. When everyone says to me, "Oh, like Romero's amazing, I love him," we love him not for his ability. We love him because everyone seems to love him because he clatters people. Oh, he shows passion.
Actually, stop going on your Eric Dyer Sanchez narrative, please.
Shut up! I swear, Barry. Honestly, you're going. But that's the last chance. You're doing my head in. Everyone listens to you. That's the worst. You're like the Godfather, and everyone listens to you.
No.
But my point with the Eric Lamela thing was, for me, I just sit there and go, if we're going to sit there and go, "Oh, he was great at Spurs," can anyone name me any good moments he had? And if anyone mentions the Rabona, I'll mention something else.
All right.
Right, Joe, what I said was, though, I actually didn't say that. I said he was a flop player-wise, but I can't see him as a flop because I just got a little special place for him. I do admit,
you can like a player, but he can still be crap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's what I see with Lamela.
You can have you can have it. It needs to be a scale, really. You've got, you've got a slider or you've got a Javiana, right? A proper flop is a Javiana. A slider is kind of a less of a flop, right?
Yeah.
What number are we on now, then?
Huh?
Sonny.
We've got Human Son. Number 30.
Sonny's terrible, no?
Sonny, what we say was Human Son.
There's no 13.
That's not even a debate, is it? Let's be honest.
So number 13, and we haven't actually found one that we said, "Oh, he was amazing." Oh, he was.
Well, I think on 13, I think we're going to probably agree on Human Son being that guy. Like Human Son's not. I think there's no debate on that one.
Correct.
Even with a hernia.
We're gonna go all the way down to 20 because there's a reason for it. We've got Yves Bissouma.
Too soon, but I think
unproven.
I think he will go.
I honestly believe he'll be a monster next season.
I do agree. I bang on.
With Ange.
I think this is going to be a debatable one. Lucas Moura.
No.
Again,
Tyree put it perfectly. He thanks for the one of the greatest nights of my life, but apart from that,
I agree. I think I
Yes.
agree. And the thing is I think Lucas Moura. I don't think he. I understand why people. I understand why people loved Lucas Moura because of what happened in Amsterdam. But if you took that away from him, what else has he done? Let's be frank and honest. What else has he
he
done?
did score. Didn't he score when we needed it in the Champions League as well to get the? Is it an equalised? Was it?
Oh yeah, no, another game. But he did Barcelona.
And so, and then he scored the hat trick when we were against Man United. I know he hasn't done enough. Like, he hasn't done nearly enough. But he's another player that I just can't dislike because he was fully coys. And he did give me that night. Even when we've won, I was there when we won our last cup with my brother. We went to the pub to go and watch it. But for some reason, that night in Amsterdam was something so special that I just can't ever be horrible. When people going, oh, good riddance, he was crap, get him gone out of our, and I couldn't do that. I've got a special place in my heart for Lucas forever because he will always love Spurs as well, man. He'll always love Tottenham.
Yeah, definitely. It's just that one night in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
For that one night in Amsterdam, you really can't slag him off.
No. I get that, but I mean, apart from that, I mean, you weren't
I'm
that great.
I'm not slagging him off.
Yeah, I
we're nearly there. Let's go for Ryan Sessegnon.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's made a bloody.
He's very similar to the Sissoko. We didn't get the Fulham Sessegnon. We got the
agreed.
We got the Wish Sessegnon.
Yeah. Brian Hill.
Oh.
Unproven.
Yeah.
I think at the moment he's a flop, but there's a huge but here that I think maybe in a new system we might actually go, do you know what? Wow.
I don't know. I'm not sure, Perchy. I'm not sure about his physique and everything else. I just think he's not built enough for the Prem.
I just think we've got a young player there. Listen, I'm one of those. I'm not sitting there like sort of ranting and raving about him. Listen, I think he could come good. At the moment, he's not that player, but only time can tell, is my opinion.
He's one of them. He's one of them. I think that he doesn't actually want to be here. Like all his family want him to play in Spain. Like let's see how it goes. Yeah. I think where we go, I don't know. I'm not sure. Emerson Royale. Sorry.
No, there's no discussion on this one.
Well, he's a flop, of course.
He's a Javiana, isn't he? Javiana style.
Emerson's another one. I can't say he's some great player.
No, he's not great. He's not great, but I love him.
But I mean, for the price tag of what, 25 million euros to what, 22 million quid? I don't know. I'm not sure.
All I gotta say is, if you're a player and you're being criticised and you spend your own money to try and get better, that tells me something about him.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
I was going to say, Mark, that's what I was going to say. I think at the moment, I can't put him anywhere more than the flop. But the one thing I do respect on him, though, is he's gone out of his way to better himself. And for me, like, for example, you've got the likes of Ndombele that will just thinks that he's the greatest and we have to just sort of agree with what he's saying. Yeah. But at least this lad's gone, do you know what? I had a poor season. I'm going to start working a bit harder and I'm going to get there. Listen, he could come good. It could be his player, but I think time will tell. Let's see. I know he's Barry Lovechild, but let's.
Do you know what I think with Emerson? Do you know what? It's about how people take that criticism. He took it on his shoulders and he said, do you know what? I'm going to do better. I'm not going to take it and go and cry about it, go and cry to everyone about it. Oh, they're so mean to me. He actually took it on board and thought, do you know what? I'm going to do something about it and I'm going to show you that I can do so much better. And I like that attitude. That mental attitude is really good.
He's got the right attitude, definitely. But I think until we start doing it on a consistent basis, then we can start talking. Then
absolutely.
Then we'll get Barry the Royale 12 shirt from this season. I think might gift him that. What about Serge Aurier?
Flop.
Oh, he was a penalty waiting to happen.
Okay, and the last one, and bear in mind, I know people can start seeing what's under there. Luka Modric is in that list at 21, by the way. Bear in mind, we paid 22 million euros for Luka Modric. What
Wow.
a player, by the way.
He wasn't too bad, was he? He was all right.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's all right.
What about the guy, though, guys, we spent over £20 million for in Darren Bent, Mr. Arsenal? He was a bit.
Harry's wife would have scored.
Context, Darren Bent won. We signed him in 2007.
Yeah, Harry's missus would have scored.
That was a big amount of money for a player, weren't it?
Yeah, Harry's missus would have scored.
Yeah,
that's what he said, wasn't it? Yeah, his missus would have scored that.
He said Sandra would score some of the
chances.
So we just sort of broke down sort of the top 20. I know people were saying, "Oh, these aren't big money signings and stuff like that." No, but I was just saying about Tottenham's top 20. That was the thing. And I was going to do 15, but then I saw Emerson was at 18, and I wanted it for Barry because I'm nice to him. I'm trying to suck up to him at the moment. So it's fine.
No one likes a brown nose, for goodness sake.
Brown noses, brown paper bags. Oh, honestly, horrendous.
You'll be at Starbucks soon.
I'll be in Starbucks soon, of course. I just want to say, so what the sort of the narrative of the point was is how many of those did we say that would go, wow, collectively went, oh, amazing. We all went human son.
Yeah.
And
4 or 5 that were to be.
Yeah, 4 or 5 we kind of debated when maybe they made me feel good kind of things. It's okay, great. But so history tells us when we're signing big money players, it doesn't really work, does it?
No.
When we all talk about what it's like at the history of Tottenham, the history of Tottenham is when you spend a lot of money, you don't seem to get good players out of it.
Yeah.
And as I said, I mean, barring the sort of Richarlison, Romero, Kulusevski sort of trifecta, which would give another season. They've been here, some have only been here 18 months, some have been here only 12 months. So you have to sort of be a bit balanced when it comes to that side of things.
And when you look at it, even like if you look at recent times, we got Dele Alli. When we got Toby and Jan, they weren't expensive signings. So all of our signings really that have done the best actually have been those players.
I go back to when we signed Graham Roberts. Now we signed him from Weymouth. It's a club 25 mile down the road from me. Weymouth. Non-league club, and look at how he turned out.
But this is where I say, Leon. By the way, mate, I just want to say, to fair, we should compare other clubs at our level. That did they mess up their 10 months? But we're not talking about other clubs because let's be honest, other clubs seem to do things correctly. History tells us at Tottenham, the signings that we make don't seem to work out when they're on the higher echelon.
Do you know what? That's not actually true. If you look at overall in the Prem, actually only I think it's less than 50% of the signings actually do work out. So when you look at Man United, look at the players they've signed for big money and they haven't worked out.
I didn't see that actually. That's a very good point.
A lot of teams do it. A lot of teams do it, Perch. You'd be really surprised in how many teams will say that player was a flop and we paid all that money for them. It isn't just Tottenham. I'm not trying to stick up for Tottenham. Yeah, I'm not trying to stick up. Yeah, I'm not trying to stick up for Tottenham at all. But I'm just saying, if you're going to compare it, I think you'll be quite surprised how much other teams spend on players that aren't actually that great.
Listen, I'll have okay, do you know what? Fine. If people want it, let's go and have a look at it. Let's see what the top transfers of the Premier League can do, the top 20 of the Premier League. This will be interesting. Go on then. If that's what people want to see, let's see how many garbage players on the Premier League that were there.
Tottenham might sneak down about number 20th.
We'll do it listed by fee and we'll work our way down. I mean, we're going to probably see a lot more recent players because the fees are sort of shot up. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. That's the old one. Stop that one. Let's link it again.
Yeah, Dyer won't be on there, or Sanchez. But...
Yeah, I was going to say, here we go. So let's start this one off. Let's do the top 20 for Premier League highest transfer fees. Enzo Fernandez is the highest transfer fee player in the Premier League. Is he? But if we're judging the likes of Romero, Like, do you not? I think Enzo Fernandez is going to come out really good. And I'll be honest, I genuinely do think that. I think he's going to become very good. He's a talented player. We saw him in the World Cup, didn't we? What a player he was at the World Cup, and he's only 21. I think Fernandez is going to come good. I don't know if others disagree. I would like to know, but I think he'll come good. It won't take his click of a finger time though.
And look at the market value at the time comparison to how much they paid.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to look at as well. That's a mad thing.
And what do we think then? Are we saying he's a flop really for what? 6 months? I think that's so hard.
No, it's undecided.
Unproven, yeah.
If we're judging our players, we've got to be bad balance when we do that.
Yeah, no, undecided.
Anthony, again, another player. I don't think he's going to be that great near the end.
No.
I'll be honest.
Look at that, 60 million over there's like 60 million over the asking price, and he's. Yeah, I think
Let's see if we can see any Spurs player make the top 20. It'll be funny, wouldn't it? Wesley Fofana. You don't think? I think Wesley Fofana is a great defender.
He's a good defender, but is he worth double the price to what he was worth?
Yeah, but ignore that. That's not. We're not judging it on that though. Okay. We're judging it on the player. And I think him and Badashile are what Chelsea are going to do well in this season. I think you put them two next to each other. I'll be honest. I think Fofana's really good. Someone said where's good point actually. Have I missed something? Yeah, someone made a good point. Where's Jack Grealish? I filtered it by fee, so I'm a bit confused.
Yeah,
anyway,
he was 100 mil, wasn't he?
He was 100 mil, weren't he?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. That's why I didn't filter it.
Well done, Percy.
Well done, Percy. Well done. Sorry, I feel it was only filtered for that season. Let's start again.
As always.
Oh, let's start again on fee. Yeah, sorry, that was a great point. We can start again. Philip Coutinho to Bar. This is players going out. Oh, screw this. This is ridiculous.
What are you doing?
Okay,
rivals.
Only new players. Sorry, stupid system. Blame the tools, not you. Never blame yourself.
No. I find shouting and swearing helps.
I think everyone should unsubscribe for that. People should unsub. So unprofessional, man.
No. Enzo Fernandez, we've already said. Jack Grealish.
No way is he a flop.
No.
He's a flip.
No.
He's double his price tag now.
He's typical of what Man City do. For the first season,
bang on, Mark.
The first season, everyone was saying, well, he was 100 million. He's like crap. But now look at him. Because the first season, they come in and they learn. And then the second season, they're unleashed.
Big Boss Man, where's my double standards? I don't think I've had any double standards. I've been the one that said that we have to judge players like we did with the Spurs lot. That's what I'm saying. I think I haven't been. Romelu Lukaku to Chelsea.
No.
We have to judge it on just that transfer.
He's worse than Ndombele.
I'd say the next all of them from 3 to 8. Obviously, it's Lukaku again.
Yeah.
They're all flops.
So we're saying, do we all agree? So we're saying Lukaku, Pogba, Anthony, Maguire, Sancho, Lukaku are flops.
Yeah.
In the chat, are we all saying flops? I want to see flops in there. If anyone thinks any differently, I can't really argue with that. I think Anthony, will come good. Right now, he's not. I don't think he. But I think. Do you know who I see Anthony feels like? He feels like a Barcelona player. Doesn't really like. He's techie. He's got that sort of thing. But I just don't see him in the Premier League being able to.
And just see, it's all Man United. I know people say that Man U can afford to do it, but that's wild. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just.
Van Dijk?
No.
He's been brilliant. He's been brilliant.
Agreed. Absolutely agree. I think Van Dijk's been best defender in the Premier League for how long? Incredible. Since he joined Liverpool, really. We spoke about Fofana. Kai Havertz?
I think he's been a bit of a flop because he hasn't really done that well. He hasn't really had a stable position at Chelsea. So we're going to see what he does at Arsenal.
I was going to say. I was just about to say he's going to Arsenal now, so obviously he's rubbish.
Yeah, so
he's rubbish anyway, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he's that great.
Darwin Nunes. Darwin Nunes. What are we saying?
He's only had a season, so
Yeah, I don't know if he's had long enough, really.
I think Darwin Nunes, and I'll say this, and I'll say it's genuine. I think he gets so much criticism, unfair criticism. I think if you look at his goal output compared to others that are on that sort of price tag, I think he gets so much stick. And I'm sitting there going, I can see Darwin Nunes year after year getting a lot better. He's young. I think he's 23, 24. I think you've got to play. I think Liverpool have genuinely got to play there that they'll build around. Let's be honest. They've got rid of Firmino now. So
this is what comes though when you come in for a big transfer fee, though.
Of course.
You
but
know.
I think he's been unfairly. I think I think he's been unfairly treated there.
Yeah.
I think he's a good player. Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Flop.
Yeah. Pepe.
He thinks he's a manager. Kepa does. He thinks he can do whatever the heck he likes.
Yeah. Pepe plays for Arsenal, so he's a flop.
It was a flop anyway.
Rubbish.
Even if,
Rubbish.
you know what? It isn't just because he played at Arsenal, but he was useless, honestly. He used to trip over the ball, man. He was absolutely shocking player.
We'll go on to a few more. De Bruyne, I don't think that's even a debate, is it?
Yeah, who's he's bang average.
Yeah, bang average, yeah.
Bang average. Di Maria, he flopped big time at Man United.
Flop, yeah.
He had an absolute mare there.
Flip, Rodri flip.
Diaz has got to be he was quality. Diaz, Casemiro, Rodri are absolute. Rodri is. Look at that though. His market value at the time was 18 million euros. They got him.
Don't look at the market value, Percy.
No, I don't know. I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it just because that's one of the sort of opposites, if that makes sense. Whereas a lot of people overpay. They actually underpaid for Rodri. That was my sort of point there. Like, on his actual market value at the time, quality player. Makayo Mudryk, I think it's too early to tell, in my opinion. I think we might start seeing a player there. We've flown through that quickly. That was why I didn't want to sort of sit on there for ages.
So it just proves that it does happen at other clubs as well. So it does.
Yeah.
I think people get lost in a really Tottenham bubble and they don't want to think kind of like about other teams. And actually, it isn't just us, because I listen to a lot of other fans from other clubs as well, and they say the same things about a lot of their players. So.
Some bloke, when you say you have to judge the fee, that's literally what we were doing. We literally were saying, no, we're not looking at. I only made that point. It was just a sort of snippet because that was one of the only ones on that list that was the market value was higher than the actual transfer fee paid, and I was saying that was good. If you looked at it on value, that's great value. I think I'll be honest. I think Rodri's one of the best players in the Premier League, and I put him on that pedestal, if not the best player in the Premier League. Doesn't get all the plaudits like a Haaland or a De Bruyne get. I tell you what a player Rodri is. They paid 70 million euros, so 60 odd million quid for him.
Mad. Absolutely crazy.
What a player. What we got? Who else we got here? John saying, does anyone else think Levy will spend money on players wisely? Listen, time will tell. Time will tell. Listen, I think at the moment we're doing the right thing. I think we're going in for the right sort of players. I think the sort of negativity going on is just, I think, premature. Personally, I think it's premature, and I think people just need to just settle a bit. People are so burnt from before that they're not seeing what's in front of them. We're not going out there signing amazing players because we as a rite of passage, we're not there yet. When people commenting on my video that I put out saying, should we be patient? Everyone's going, no, why should we be patient? We've been patient for 23 years. But let's be frank and honest, we're not at a position to not be patient. So what? We go and blow what? 300, 400, 500 million pounds on what? Big players aren't coming to Tottenham. People miss that. When I sang about ambition and stuff, and everyone says that, I said, but because of where we are, our ambition has to drop. We can't be sitting there going, oh, we're going to go and win the league next season. I could say that on every stream. Doesn't mean I'm right. It means I'm delusional. We're nowhere near that. We need to build building blocks to get to that position. And it could take 5 years to get to that position. Like it did under Pochettino. It took several years under Pochettino to get the right squad galvanised collectively. I just think people are going way overboard with the goalkeeper front. I said, listen, if the goalkeeper front is the reason that we get an extra defender in, I don't care. And I'll be honest, if getting in Vicario over spending 40 million quid on Raya means that we sign Mickey van der Ven from wherever he's from, I'm not sure. If he's where's he from? Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Cheers. But that's what I'm saying. If he that's the sort of bridge that we end up getting, an extra defender because of that, I'm all for it. I'll be honest. I'm genuine for it.
I saw on someone's show last night that they were saying everyone's moaning that we didn't spend 40 million on that Raya. But look, all right, we say this one's costing us what, 17
million, yeah.
Yeah, right. And so that's 23 million, you say?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, over 20 million quid, yeah.
Yeah, saving 20 million quid. If that goes towards Maddison, job done. Job done. Or another defender. You know, because you've been through the list. All our highest players, they were all rubbish.
Yeah.
So you've got to search out the.
Of course,
I
think, you know, we need to get back to that. Get back to where we were buying smart, sensible signings.
Yeah.
I know but what we need to do, what we didn't do before, was when we're doing that, is smart, sensible signings. Is just get rid of don't get the crap ones. Start getting the good ones through.
Yeah.
And start building very slowly. Like for me, it's all about building slowly. We'll get there, and people just need to be a little bit more calm at the moment. We're going down a different route. We can't go 1 minute we need to start building again, and then when we start building, everyone goes, but I wanted the best players.
Yeah.
We're not going to go and spend 40 million pound players. Newsflash, we're not doing that. But signing a 17 million pound goalkeeper, a 20 million pound defender, maybe a 50 million pound player in James Maddison that's just a bit of quality that you need there.
Yeah.
That's how you do business. That's how teams in positions like we are do business. It's a rite of passage. We finished 8th. I don't know why we all think that we're all of a sudden going to act like a big football club because we finished 8th. The football club has done that because of where we finished this season. That's just newsflash. It's just how it is. It's how it works in the league. Arsenal didn't go out and spend loads and loads of money when they finished 8th. They spent about 150 million quid. Then when they started finishing a bit higher, when they started finishing 5th, then they were starting putting out 300 million pound on players, sprinkling players each season. Just need to be a bit calm, in my opinion.
This is what we never do, though. This is what we never do. You look at the years when Poch was here. We finished 2nd. We just needed that little sprinkling to make the bench stronger. And I'm convinced we'd have won the league twice. The year Leicester won it and the year after. I'm convinced.
Mark, you're absolutely right. And that's I said this is where that's the stick you beat Daniel Levy with. If we're going to beat Daniel Levy,
I do regularly.
You beat Daniel Levy for not signing world-class players when we finished 3rd and then 2nd in the league, and we needed to move on. That's the stick you beat the owner with.
No, but
not
to be
right
honest,
now.
We didn't even really need to spend that much money, in my opinion. It was the bench that needed, because our first team was the best in the country. When you had the likes of Dele Alli in his prime, Jan and Toby, Moussa Dembele, all these players, Ericsson. We just needed, if one of them got injured, you had some sort of better than Winks to come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look at our bench back then, it was dreadful.
Agreed. But that's what I mean when I say that. But that's what I mean. Like, we just needed a sprinkling of starters.
Yeah.
And then that made my point being, that's my point what I'm trying to make is that's where you go at the owner and go, you let us down there because we needed a bit of quality then.
Yeah.
Not
right,
because
actually, sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to jump because I need to go.
Yeah.
I was going to say cricket started. Cricket starting, isn't it?
No. I'm off to London.
He's having a day out in London.
Anyway, big up everybody.
Enjoy.
Make sure you make sure you subscribe to Perchy, please, and get him.
How far are we, Barry? How far away are we?
54.
54. We're 54 subscribers away.
I was going to say it was
from the
55
1K.
earlier.
It was 55. I mean, it dropped all the way down, and it did scare me. My heart was going a bit mad.
I did put in the private chat because you were really begging that disgusting behaviour. I did unsub. And then
come on. Me up.
Right, anyway, guys and girls, have a wonderful weekend. Big up, Perchy. Stop talking about Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez. Yeah?
Stop it.
Enjoy.
Okay, mate. Stay safe. Yeah, thanks a lot for Barry. Honestly, it's all a laugh. We all play around. We all have jokes and laughs. It's all part of the fun. I just wanted to pick up this. Before I pick up this new, I just want to say, guys, we're at 45 likes. Can we just push the likes up? Just hit the button. It's a free hit. Go for it. Neil Gunner said, buy cheap, you buy twice. Tottenham should know.
Yes.
But no, I don't necessarily agree with that. If you buy a cheaper player, that doesn't necessarily mean it. We didn't have to buy twice a Dele Alli. He was 5 million quid.
Yeah, that's
My
right.
point is, for me, it's not about buying cheap. It's about buying right.
Of course.
It's
yeah.
a selection, isn't it?
When we say about buying cheap, I have no problem if we buy a £10 million player because we've identified him. We say he's going to fit in this role, and then he becomes a world beater.
That's right.
For me, it's not necessarily about buying cheap. When you buy cheap, it's sometimes when you go and buy players that just don't fit the system. We just buy them because we feel like it's a good deal. That's the difference. Yeah. Oh, well, we can get this player for 10 million quid because we believe he's valued at 25 million. So it's a good deal. But he fits nothing in our system.
Yeah.
Why would you buy him? It's a waste of money.
Yeah.
You have to just figure out getting rid of him. So I don't think buying cheap, it's not about buying cheap, it's about buying smart, buying correctly. If we buy cheap and buy the wrong players, yes, then you are going to have to buy twice, of course.
Well, if you look at our right back situation, probably about 10 times. How many bloody right backs have we had?
Yeah, exactly.
Aurier and Lord knows who else has been in and out.
You just seem to just pick up players for the sake of picking up players. Then It just didn't really work, and that's what really irritated me. Big up Irish Rebel, big Ange fanboy. We love you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Always in here. Hod God says, Mia, how are you? How are you, Mia?
I'm well, and he's from where I used to live, so that's what I've got in common with Hod God. We discovered it the other day. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe you lived literally in my road that I used to live in.
Small world. I've got a question from Eltel. Hope you're doing well, mate. Go and subscribe to this man. El, put your link in the thing. Go and subscribe to this man. This man set up a YouTube channel this week, so go over there and let's try and push him up. Let's give him a push. Let's try and get him over 100 today. There's 98 of you in here, so let's go and subscribe to this man. Put your link in the chat and I'll pin it, Jose. But his question is, do you think we'll finish higher than Aston Villa and Brighton next season? Yeah, I'm going to say it now. We will, because I think Brighton and Aston Villa are going to be in Europe, and I think both teams will give all they can in Europe. Let's be honest, especially more Brighton than Villa, because I think Villa are on the trajectory to be a relatively European known team again. They're going to get back into Europe. I think Brighton will sort of up and down it and roller coaster, but I think Brighton will treasure being in Europe more than Villa. I think Villa fans, by the way, will love being in Europe. But my point being, I think Villa will look at it and go, we can push to be back in the Champions League at some point. Whereas Brighton will look at it and go, let's just enjoy the ride. A bit like, if you guys remember, a bit like when Fulham were in there. Yeah. And then they got to the final. They just sort of rode that wave, didn't they? Was it under Hodgson? No, it wasn't. Can anyone remember who? If someone can remember when they got to the final, I can't remember who it was under. No, it wasn't under Hodgson, was it? No. Who was in charge? Can anyone remember who, when Fulham got into the UEFA Cup final against Atletico Madrid? They lost the final. But if anyone can remember, that would be great. But yeah. So he... that's my point. So I think Brighton will take it much more seriously than maybe Villa. I think Villa will go and use it as a springboard. I think Brighton will go, do you know what? Let's just enjoy the ride here. Do you guys think?
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. And don't forget that other teams are going to be better this season than they were last season as well. So you've got to remember that as well, I think. Yeah,
and plus, we're going to be playing completely different this season. Hopefully, with Ange.
We're not going to be in Europe, so we're going to be playing once a week.
Yeah.
So I think just on that once a week business, I think we could As I said, I haven't got any goals this season. I'm not going to sit there. I think we're going to do this. I think we're going to do that because I don't know. I'm walking into the unknown. I just said the only thing I don't want is us to get relegated. So as long as we don't get relegated, I'm all for whatever we do.
I want us to take the domestic cup seriously.
Agreed.
Yeah,
For once.
Joe, what I'd be happy with if we finish 6th, 7th, but are taking those cups seriously, but we can see that we're taking them seriously. That's what I want.
Yeah, progression. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone go over to Jose Garcia. Go and subscribe, mate. I will. I'll pin it. I'll find the link and I'll pin it over there for everyone to go over. And
although
subscribe.
I'll be honest, I would take 17th in an FA Cup. 17th in an FA Cup. That'd do me lovely.
I want us to win. I want us to win silverware.
Yeah.
I want us to just. Do you know what I want at the moment, Mark? And it'll be nice to get your thoughts. I want us to sort of commit to a domestic trophy with this manager, so we can get that feeling in. You know, I always say that. You know, when big elite managers always say that one trophy started it.
Yeah.
And Mancini was the one I think came out and said, he said, when we won that League Cup, it drove us to win the next one and then the next one. And for me, and I always stand by it, and I said, in the alternative world that we win under Pochettino an FA Cup, for me, I look at it and go, I think that would have been the driving force for us to go and win another one, a league, maybe even a Champions League.
Definitely.
People might call me crazy. I just think when we didn't win it, and then we were hearing all the noise that came out was, we'd rather be in the Champions League than worry about an FA Cup.
That's rubbish.
I'll be honest, I felt it sent the complete wrong message across the club. When it doesn't matter if we win this or not, if we're in a final, there was no pressure to win the FA Cup. And I think that was one of the key ones I felt with when we were under Pochettino.
Joe, what the biggest mistake Poch did when he come out and said that cups build egos? Like, that's an absolutely crazy thing to say. Yeah. It really is. I don't know who...
But that gave the get out of jail free card for everyone in the club.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Everyone
that's mad.
Go, we didn't have to do it.
I mean, I was 10, 11, 81 when we won the FA Cup. Everyone at school that I went to was a Liverpool fan because they won everything back then.
Yeah.
Right, and I walked into I borrowed my dad's silk Tottenham scarf, and I went to school with it on. I've never felt more proud because I was 10, 11. I'd never seen us win anything. And if someone had told me in 1991, this would be the last time till now that we win the, I'd never have believed you that we win it. That would be the last time I'd see us win the FA Cup. Because throughout because I can remember a bit of the 70s, but I wasn't really old enough. I can remember the 80s, 81, 82, 84, and then we had 91, and then 99. I remember all this. But now it's been like 15 years, and we won a League Cup.
It'll be 16 years until the next finals. So
and even I'm not disrespecting it, but that was the League Cup. I've seen us win the FA Cup 3 times. Yeah. 3 times. I mean, to be honest, Perch, were you alive when in 91?
Yeah. No, not 91. Sorry, I was 92. So
but there we are. So you're what? 31?
31 this year.
Yeah. O-level maths kicked in then, right? Right. I remember, you're like 31, and you've never seen us win the FA Cup.
I know.
In 91, when we won it, we were the highest with 8. Yeah. Now Arsenal's got 14.
But Mark, here's a great question, and Neil, I'll come to your question in a minute. I'll ask in a second with it. But I just want to just sort of go on that. This is where I get really annoyed with football at the moment, because someone brought the statistics up. You would have to win the FA Cup something like 80 times to get the same amount of prize money that you do for finishing last in the league.
But that's where it's wrong. But that's what I mean. Does that not tell you why the financial side of it has completely ruined the magic of the FA Cup? Of course it has.
People used to talk about the FA Cup and they'd be excited for weeks for the FA Cup. Now, do you know what they talk about the FA Cup? A day out at Wembley.
Yeah.
It used to be the day. It used to be everyone would go. It would make their day surrounded around the FA Cup. And now people talk of the FA Cup as, oh, it's just a nice day. It's just a day out at Wembley.
Well,
no?
it was only this year. It was only this year that they put it on at 3:00.
Yeah.
In the years gone by, it was like 5:30 on a Saturday. What's that nonsense all about? I mean, I can remember 81 because my dad went. My dad went to the first game. He never went to the replay, but my dad went to the first game. I was at home, and it was on from like 9:00 in the morning, and I was convinced I was going to see my dad on the telly in the crowd, but obviously I didn't. It was just like 100,000. But it was on all day. It was on from 9:00 in the morning, and that's all gone now. And like that comment said, you got to win the what FA Cup 80 times.
Yeah, you've got to win it nearly 80 to 100 times because I think you get 2 million or something in prize money for winning the FA Cup, but you get over £100 million finishing bottom of the league.
Well,
that says it all. We reward failure in this league.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Back then, the FA Cup was about the only game that was on. Well, unless England were playing and it was like the World Cup or the Euros, that was about the only game that was on.
Yeah,
you know, it was the one game a year that was live on the telly. BBC and ITV used to cover it.
Agreed. And I think this is it. But this is it, though. The TV money now, Leon, this is the problem. And I find it absolutely hilarious, by the way. Everyone's now moaning about Saudi Arabia. The Premier League did that 30 years ago.
Yeah.
The Premier League started that 30 years ago. So when we've got the likes of Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher sitting going, it's a disgrace, we need to put an embargo on it. But you're employed to the company that started it in the English game.
Yeah.
There's a reason why clubs in all of Europe can't compete with the Premier League because the money in the Premier League is massive. And unfortunately, people are now getting them, they're getting irritated with the likes of Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia have gone, we can gazump the Premier League and we can go and get their best players. Do you know what I mean? And that for me is where it gets...
Do you know what? I remember watching Champions League on normal TV because when I used to watch it because Man United, I love David Beckham. So I used to
TV, right?
Yeah, on ITV. So I used to watch him on ITV watching the Champions League.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think at the moment we've got... I just sit there and think we can't argue at the moment, like when it comes to things like the Super League, because the Super League, I always say this now, the Super League isn't the Super League. The Super League is the Premier League. That is the real Super League. When we all sit there and protest against it, the Super League is the Premier League. Teams like Chelsea can spend £600 million in a transfer window, over 2 windows, sorry. That tells you enough how it is, that there's no money elsewhere.
Well, that's why, is it Barcelona that still hasn't pulled out of the Super League? Because
Barcelona stadium with Real Madrid and Juventus, I want to say.
Because especially the Spanish teams, like the 2 big ones, Barcelona and Real Madrid, they want that sort of money. You know, all right, they get enough of their own anyway, because I know Spain's different. Barcelona and Real Madrid have got their own TV deals and they get most of the money anyway. But it's still nowhere near. It's still nowhere near what the teams get in this country from Sky.
Yeah, no, absolutely, cousins, mate. And I think that's the thing, mate. At the moment, I just don't think. I think the moral high ground from people want to jump on Saudi Arabia. I'm not being funny. We did it first. And I think people need to look back in history and go, we did it first. But
we've been doing it for years.
The problem is what it has done is, as I said, it's made the point. The bit that I feel like, though, what it's done, though, as I said, the point that I think we sort of digressed on what we were initially saying was that what it has done has made the FA Cup and League Cup irrelevant. And I think that is the worst feeling. When you're hearing modern day fans go, oh, do you know what, guys? I'd rather have been in the Champions League than being in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This is
Never.
the FA Cup.
Never in a million years.
When I hear fans go, the League Cup's a tin pot trophy. Based on what? Based on what?
I'm
The League Cup.
struggling. Yeah. I struggle to remember the last time we won one. You know what I mean? It's so long ago.
It's the only 2 trophies I've seen us win.
Yeah, but there we go. You've seen us in your 31-year-old. You've seen us win 2 League Cups.
Yeah.
And
the first one I was a bit too young to respectfully watch it. I remember watching it. I remember my mum actually went to it, even though she's not a Spurs fan.
99, I was at Wembley.
Yeah.
Against Leicester.
Yeah. I think my mum and partner at the time went because he was a Spurs fan. That's weirdly how I became a Spurs fan. It was kind of a weird story, but yeah, I remember watching it at my granddad's house. I don't remember. I can't tell you what happened because I was still I was 7. I was a kid.
But
I remember watching 08, and I remember the run to the 08 final.
Yeah.
And, but I just feel like at the moment that I just think the disrespect to domestic trophies in this league at the moment is something that really needs to be looked at.
Yeah. And especially the FA Cup, like a few years ago when they sort of put it on at like 5:30 kickoffs. No, the FA Cup is 3:00 on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
and that is it. All right, it was this year, but that's the first time for years. It was like 5:30 in the evening. Well, 6:30 for you, but like that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's like I was saying to you, like you've seen us win 2 trophies in 31 years. You look at the previous 31 years to that, how many we won. It's probably double figures off the top of my head. As I said, I just think big up Tyree. Is it Tyrese or Tyrese? How you say it? Tyree. How you doing, mate? How you doing, mate? Being on the board, hope you're doing well, mate. How are you? We're just in a debate at the moment about is the FA Cup where's the relevance of the FA Cup gone? I'd love to get your thoughts because I think me and Mark are talking about it in the sense that we love the FA Cup. Yeah. Listen, I want us to go and win this now. Start winning the FA Cup. Start competing and actually taking it seriously enough to go and win them. Listen, it's not. I don't think it's as simple as just going out and going, let's just go and win them. Because let's be honest, we go and play a big team like a Man City. More on the time, they're going to knock us out of it. But I will beat them. We always do.
We do.
At home.
We do, Mark, but not when it matters. Not when it matters.
Yeah.
Charles, I'd love to get your thoughts on it, mate.
I think it's a really important trophy. Like it always has been. There's a history to it. You've always got to remember where you come from. It gets dismissed by people a lot, and I think that's just purely off the back of people that have won the Champions League, and then that's just trickled down. And fans like when Spurs fans ever looking down on things like the League Cup and the FA Cup, I think that's weird, to be honest with you. I mean, I always make this point about Pep Guardiola with the League Cup, that if you used to just look in isolation at the number of trophies that he's won at Man City, I think it's like 13 or 14 now. Half of them are League Cups. So like when it comes to the numbers, it's just like, even I was watching the channel before, I think it was like Kuva or one of them guys said it, and it's true, like with Seville when they win the Europa League, it's just these memories that they create for their fans. I'd be happy if Spurs are just that team that won like a bag of League Cups or FA Cups and never won the Premier League. I'd still be happy. You know what I mean? We'd have those memories.
Kuva, big up Kuva, mate. If you're watching, I haven't seen you in the chat, normally you are, but he makes a great point. He sort of said, why can't we be the Sevilla of England, where we compete in Europa Leagues and win Europa Leagues constantly? They win the odd Copa del Rey here and there, but they constantly win the Europa League. They're the most prolific Europa League winner. Yeah. Spurs could easily be in that team. Listen, they're nowhere near on the levels of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. They're nowhere near it. They finished mid-table this season.
It's just
that they win Europa Leagues all the time because they've got the mentality. The mentality is different in Spain,
and they've got the memories. Like the reality of a Seville fan is that they're used to winning that trophy. They're used to winning trophies. If you speak to a Seville fan, they probably seem a lot happier than a Spurs fan for that reason. They've got those memories. You can live off that. Like I mean, I can't live off it anymore, but for years I was living off that 2008 League Cup win. Like just seeing like Robbie lifting the trophy so elated. It's the only memory I have. We won the FA Cup when I was 1. Like we like when back in the day when we beat Nottingham Forest, we beat was it Leicester in '99. So I've seen the 2 trophies like you, Perch. Like, and anytime I hear when people like I heard Arsenal fans at the end of the season after obviously everything fell apart, they're turning their nose up at the League Cup. I'm like, how dare you? The guy that beat you in this title race has won it like 4 or 5 times. You don't look down in it. So how can you look down in it?
And when I heard when they got knocked out to Sporting in the Europa League was well, it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Based on what?
Mate,
No one
you're
is
right.
trophy.
It's just like when people do their own little confirmation bias, you just look for those and make you feel better.
Do you know what?
This isn't just sorry, Mia, I'll let you jump in. Just sorry, what I was just saying, but that's not just Arsenal, that's everyone. We do it as a fan base.
Yeah,
the
we
amount
do.
of times I've heard us going, I don't really want us to be in the Conference League. We're better than that. Based on what? Based on what? We're not better than to be in any. We have no right as a fan base. I'm not saying anyone here because I think everyone here is actually very relevant in what I'm saying, but I see so much on social media going, we're better than that. The Europa League wasn't there designed for teams like Spurs. Actually, it kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's actually for teams that don't actually go and win stuff, but to get a trophy, and Spurs don't win stuff. And me, so I let you jump in. Sorry, I didn't mean.
Yeah, what I was going to say was any competition you're in, you should be in it to win it. Like, honestly, I don't understand this attitude. That's what you're in it. That's why I wanted to get the Conference League, because if we're in it, we should be in it to win it. And I didn't care that it was Conference League. I would have happily said we won a Conference League. I don't care. Like, I would never have looked down on that, because a cup is a cup. A win is a win, man.
My caveat, though, this season, why I didn't want us to be in the Conference League, there is one caveat. This season was more because I think we needed to spend a year out of Europe to actually decimate the squad and start again. Not because I don't think that we're better than being in it. I think we should be in it. But this year, I felt genuinely, and it's Saint Savre also said as well, that we need more time on the training pitch than actually traveling to this, there, and everywhere in Europe. This season, that was when people go, "Oh, you didn't want the Conference League." It wasn't because I don't think we're better than it. It's because actually I think we need to start again.
I think that point of view is different from people who like we're above it, because there's plenty of people who didn't want it. They're like, I'd rather not be in any Europe than be in that one because I don't want it. That's the people I just don't understand that mentality, because if we got in it, we should have been in it to win it. Like, that is how your attitude should be. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Yes.
Can I
you look
just
at Man City? You look at Manchester City. Didn't they win the League Cup like 5 times in a row, or at least 4 times in a row? It was something like that, wasn't it?
It was madness. 3 or 4 times. All the time. I just want to pick this up from Robin A. Perchy. Enough of the negativity warrior. I actually think I've been relatively positive. Actually, you should step out of the echo chamber and invite Jay Rated R on your debates. Even Alex Fizzin. Listen, Jay's welcome on my streams anytime. I talk to Jay all the time. So I chat to Jay on Spaces. We debate on Spaces on Twitter. So Jay is welcome anytime on my streams. So you can.
I just want to say that with fans, like when they always like there has to be a debate. It's like, I think people forget we're all Tottenham fans. We all want the same thing. Like, we don't have to prove and get one up on each other. The reality is the club is where it's at for a reason. The best thing that we can do as fans is try to come together. If we've got a difference in opinions, be curious, listen to the opinion, take something, you'll learn something, rather than trying to get one up, talking about this guy, this guy. Like, we're all together. Like, let's be one.
And it's not the thing is as well. People do it to create drama. Like, we're not a drama channel. We're a football channel. We don't want to talk about other people. Like, unless they're here, we're not going to talk about them, because we're not going to talk about their opinions while they're not here. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's silly.
Jay's very, very positive. He's a really nice player. I chat to him all the time. I chat to him in DMs and talk to him about stuff all the time. And listen, I don't want people trying to make out like that I'm sat in an echo chamber. He's welcome anytime. I know he's got his own stuff. He's got his stuff to do. So if I'll message him, and he knows he's welcome on any time onto my show.
And also, we do have Alex on here. If anyone watches Perchy enough, Alex does come on here. So
Alex is always welcome as well on my show, even though I disagree with the majority of the things he says. The irony is I get called negative. By the way, I'm not a negative warrior. I think I've been. And me, you can probably vouch it. I think I've been relatively positive since Postecoglou come in.
You have. And don't poke the waffle bear because he'll come find you.
Oh,
Yes.
you say his name and he shall appear. And guys, just before we carry on quickly, go and sub to Mia. Operation sub to Mia is on. We need to get Mia
He's
over.
here. He's
Operation.
Mr. Kaufman has woke up.
Oh yeah, no, the cough is here. The cough is here. He's
Yes.
here. You don't have to do any more, Mark. You've done an amazing job, of course. Yeah, we need to get Mia over 700. So go over there now. There's 98 of you. Go and subscribe now. Operation sub to Mia is on. We know the reason.
We know.
We're not,
If you know, you know.
We will not say until it happens. I'm the home native on reality, as I call it. Yeah, listen, I try and say things how I see things. I don't think there's an echo chamber at all.
I don't. You know, like we're watching Tottenham play week in, week out, and they've not given us a lot to sing about and be positive. If you're just reacting to the reality of the situation, I don't think that's being negative. You're just being realistic about where we are. Right?
And yeah, go and sub to the coffee house. This is the place.
Shameless, that is.
Shameless. We'll start calling you Perch. Big up to you, mate. Listen, that man should be over 500 subscribers.
Yeah, definitely.
Crazy. Go and subscribe to the Coffee House because Coffee Company is one of the best streams at 2:00 on a weekday. It's brilliant, lovely.
Even though Nick does keep timing me out in the chat.
Oh,
no. It's funny though. It
is fun. Yeah. Much love to Nick. Guys, we're gonna go. We're going to go for another, 15-20 minutes or so. We've talked about transfers. We've talked about the FA Cup. Let's have a quick debate about where we think Tottenham are going to be this season. Where do we see us? How do you think we're going to play? I'd like to just get some people's thoughts. Tyree, I'll let you go first, mate. And what are your thoughts? Where do you think, how many players do you think in the end we're going to get in? How many we're going to get rid of? Have it away, mate.
It's so hard to judge with Tottenham. Like I've always been optimistic in the past, but I've started to get to the point where some people might call me a bit pessimistic. I'm glad with the appointment of Ange. I think if we can get Taps over in with another centre back, with the goalkeeper that we've signed as well, and an attacking player like Maddison, I think we'll be set up to have a fairly decent season without Europe. I think there'll be some teething issues at the start because from what I've looked into Ange, every club he's managed at always has teething issues. And I said it last time as well, I do think that there'll be a couple of games at the start where we come up against better opposition. If we try to play the high press, we're probably going to get beat 3-4-0, 4-1 or something like that. But I think if the fans can be patient, we will stick together and get behind the manager, get behind the players and put up with a few bad performances, I think it will click. Quite similarly to how Pochettino started, where first 2 games, high and flying, beat West Ham, beat QPR, come up against Liverpool, got stuffed. And then for a couple of weeks, it was quite turbulent. And then from that Aston Villa game, things just started to click. Harry Kane was born. Maybe we could have that sort of moment. My prediction for finishing, I reckon we'll finish back in Europe. I'm going to say I reckon we finish 5th or 6th.
So you think we'll get into Champions League next season?
Oh, yeah.
Champions League, 5th or 6th, bro.
5th is Champions League next season.
Oh, swear down.
Extra spots, they've increased it. So 5th is Champions League, 6th is Europa League, 7th is Conference League, right, Mark?
Spurs on my head this season.
It might actually go down to 8th. It might actually go down to 8th place next year. We normally got 2 league positions, aren't we, that go into Europa?
Yeah.
And then one for the conference.
So you've got the FA Cup gets you a Europa League spot.
Yeah.
The League Cup gets you a Conference League spot.
Playoff.
And then normally it's 5th and 6th this season would. So
yeah.
You could be right. There could be an extra 2 spots. So you could end up having 9 teams. Oh, no, you're right, actually. I think you could get 9 in there. So is what I think. I think it's right. The 9 in. Because someone made a point that half the league now will be in Europe next season.
I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. It's almost like in life, you shouldn't reward people for mediocrity. Like if you finish 8th or 7th, you shouldn't really be going into Europe. Your team's not really equipped. I think it's a blessing. I mean, obviously, I'd always want us to be in Europe, but the fact that we're not in Europe this season, I think that's what gives me the belief that we can finish higher up the table. If we were,
I think we will. I think we're not going to have. Do you know what we're not going to have? What we had last season is the. Oh well, we're going to be playing in Europe this day on this Tuesday, and then we've got to play a big team on this Sunday. we've got the privilege this time. Well, I say privilege is probably the wrong word to use, but my point being is we've got the time now where we can go and work a bit hard on the training pitch. Postecoglou can push his agenda on what he wants to play and his tactics on these players. In a sense, I've always said you're always realistically need 2 per position, and I think we can probably get that. And the rest of them just get rid. These are the ones we want. This is how we're going to play. We're going to move forward from there. And I think that's the best way forward for us as a club. Mark, as you said, I'll let you jump in next, mate, and what your thoughts are, because I think what Tyree said was a good point.
Yeah, I basically agree with what Tyree said. Like, I think we're going to struggle at the beginning because you've got to remember we've had 4 years now, 5 years, whatever it is, of playing like 7 at the back. Still conceding like 63 goals, whatever it was, and that's going to be got out of us. Ange basically wants to play like we all want to see us play. Yeah. And like, it's like I said earlier, I want us to take the cup seriously, a League Cup, an FA Cup. If we could win one of them, Jesus, I'd be like, all my Christmases come at once. Just any trophy. I'd take the Egg and Spoon trophy. Because to be honest, this finishing in top 4 or top 5, whatever it's going to be, see, it's all nonsense. It's all absolute nonsense. See, I remember back in the day, you had to win the leagues to get in the European Cup.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to say it's called the Champions League, but it's actually now 4th loser league. Really.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. If you were second or third or won the FA Cup, then you'd go into the Cup Winners' Cup or the UEFA Cup. All of this about top 4. See, and this is where the money comes into it again, because top 4 now is worth a darn sight more than winning the FA Cup.
And also that finishing high up can also destroy some teams. Look what happened to Sheffield and Burnley. They enter Europe, which should be a reward. They stretch their squad so thin, they end up both getting relegated. So it's like almost like you should, like, it's great that it gives these teams the opportunity to put their name on the map. There is always pros and cons. Sorry?
Did Sheffield United get into Europe?
I'm sure. Didn't they finish in European position? Oh no, I think they finished just outside.
I think Burnley, I remember, did get that time in Europe.
Southampton got Europe as well. I mean, it's like, but it's the point I'm making is that if you're their 7th or the 6th best team in the league, there's an argument to say that you're probably not equipped for Europe the season after. Like what my man just said as well. Like back in the day, to win the league to get into Europe, it's supposed to be for the champions. They call it the Champions League. Yeah. So like, you're a runner-up. It's not the runner-up league. Like,
it's just a gimmick. No disrespect to the Champions League, but it's just branding now. Unfortunately,
it's all money. Right. It's all about the money.
It's just all about the money. Agreed. Mia, I'd love to get your take on it quickly before we move on slightly a little bit on from it. A couple of questions left over, but I'd love to get your thoughts on where we're going to be.
For me, this is ground zero. So I hope that this is where we start afresh. But the fact that we're going to start afresh means we have to have time. Postecoglou needs time to work his system into the players, to get obviously players in. I think that we have to remember that maybe a few of the players that we want gone might not quite be gone. So I feel like that we have to give him that opportunity and that time. 6th and 7th, like I said earlier, and taking the cup seriously, making sure that we look like we're taking the cup seriously is very important for me. And I feel like that progression would be enough for me this season. I'd be happy with that.
No, absolutely agree. We've got. I was going to say, I agree with everything you say. I've got some more questions, just some questions that are sort of floating about. Neil Gunner put in earlier, and I pinned it, mate, just because we were in the middle of a conversation. I didn't want to break it. Would you have taken Unai Emery as your manager, or would you have had, or would you not because of his Arsenal ties?
I literally had this conversation with an Aston Villa fan yesterday. Like, if he, apart from the side that he played for Arsenal, I'd take him. I think he's quality in the job. And I think he was so harshly treated at Arsenal as well. He built their team up to win the FA Cup, and then Arteta came in and took credit for it.
I thought it was a great man.
I was going to say, it didn't stop us with George Graham.
No?
Yeah.
And he won us a
And he
cup.
won, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Really good
He
point.
won us a cup in '99.
Yeah. So true.
And also, and this is where, and with the Unai Emery, this is you scream Unai Emery and then Henry Wright turns up. So he's a big Unai Emery fanboy. And also from football, would you take Dyer as your captain next season and Ndombele as your main number 10?
Oh my God.
But that's asking to shoot yourself in your left or your right foot.
That's like basically saying, can you chop my left leg off or my right leg off?
Both of that is a nightmare scenario.
I can't speak.
No, it's
Maybe can I just put one of my dogs in to play instead? I think that's a nice option.
I think they'll do better than both.
And his name's Ozzy as well, named after the famous Ozzy Ardiles.
Yes.
So sorted.
Oh, look who it is. Alex. Hey, Alex. I think you're asking the wrong people to give Ange time. It's the board that need to give him time. Yeah, but Alex, I can't control that, mate. I can't. If I go, okay, well, that Mr. Levy, you need to give Ange time. It makes no difference. He's not watching me. He's not going to listen to he's not going to listen to the YouTube sensation that is Mr. Perchy. I'm joking. I'm not.
So hold on a sec. Can I just put a bit of logic to this as well, Alex? I know you don't like it when I say about being logical, but if that's the case, why is it then you're saying that they've got to prove it to you if it's nothing to do with you? Doesn't that just negate your point completely about needing to prove it to you?
I think he's justified in his frustration and impatience just because of what Tottenham have done over the last 20 years. But at the same time, I feel like if they've given him a 4-year contract, it tells me that they must accept that there's going to be some sort of teething issue. They're going to give him some time. If you give someone a 4-year contract and you sack him 6 months into it, you're going to have to pay him off. So there's I don't see the logic of giving someone a 4-year contract if you're going to be so gung-ho if things start going the wrong way.
Yeah, we all know that they need to back him, but as fans, we also need to understand about time, not going on social media and start going, oh, Ange this and Ange that. That's what we mean by giving Ange time as people, as fans, not that we can control if they sack him or not, you know?
Yeah.
The only thing the thing that I do worry about though is say he gets off to a flyer and we are in them top 4 positions and then we drop off. Will Mr. Levy pull the trigger on him? Because he's done it with every other manager. As soon as top 4's out the window, that's it. They're gone. See you later.
But Mark, I think this. I'll be honest. I think if we sack Postecoglou, I think I will be absolutely gobsmacked. Mr. Levy now must know that we're in no fit shape to be anywhere near debating that. We need to be looking bigger. I just want to touch on this from Robin. By negativity worries, my point was the same people who look down upon top 4 finishes under Jose and Conte are now suddenly dreaming of top 4 as a sign of success in Spurs' future.
Did we finish top 4 under Jose?
I was going to say, I don't think we finished in the top 4 under Jose. We did under Conte.
No. Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think we did. But my point being is that this is the difference here. I don't think there's going to be instant success at this club for a long time. I think this notion that we're instantly going to go and win stuff is way out the window. I think people that think that need to calm it a little bit.
I've never said top 4. I've never said top 4 is success.
Agreed. It's not success. Agreed.
Give me the FA Cup any day.
Agreed. Absolutely agree. Who else have we got? Have we got any other questions? Any other questions, guys? Put a Q next to it. But Kev, it's not about finances. Obviously, Conte was going to get more money. He's a bigger manager, of course. You're going to have to go do the Arteta route. Agree. When you're breaking all the wrong records, going on 4 or 5 losing streaks, because Arteta has given us some dire times. Agreed. I agreed. I just think with at least there's a project to Arsenal. I think that's a slight difference.
Yeah.
We can only hope, Perch, that this is our project. That's the only thing we can hope for, right? Is that this is the start of a project for us.
Yeah, agreed. This is the start.
Right, that's all we can hope for.
Big up. Yeah, big up Alan, by the way. Go and subscribe to Alan's channel. Love Alan's channel. He's talking a lot of sense. I think Alex is conflating Ange's time to prove himself with the board and owners having to prove that they can change the ways or change ways again. And what he needs to do is the best chance of success. No, I agree. I agree. The board have to, but the thing is that there's nothing I can do. I can't change what the board do. If the board do, then we have another serious conversation about it. That's the question mark. But the thing is I don't put money into the system. I don't give this man my money because I don't trust him doing it right until he proves it. I don't go to games anymore. Oh, Boxy. Perchy, you're in dreamland if you think the board are not going to sack Ange. Alex, I accepted your bet, my friend. Mr. Postecoglou will be here by the end of it. And if you haven't, go and watch that video. It's literally live on my channel. Go and watch it because Alex, you came to me saying that you want to place the bet. I said I'm happy to accept. And then you were running a little bit scared because you wanted everybody else to accept it. I'm just saying, I was straight to accept it because Postecoglou will be here on the last game of the season and will not be sacked. I'm putting out there, clip it, quote it. But when you do clip and quote it, come back to me at the end of the season when I'm right. When I'm normally right.
It will make a change. Well, it will make a refreshing change if we get a manager for the whole season. That we haven't had since Poch was there.
2018?
Yes, it was when it was the year before Poch got sacked.
Yeah, the year before Poch got sacked. I mean, that's when you think about it, that is actually terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah,
that is actually terrifying.
And I will still never forgive Mr. Levy for sacking Mr. Pochettino.
The problem is like I understood Pochettino's frustration at the time. This is where I would sit there going, it was right to be sacked on his positions because it completely fell apart. But the stages before that, you have to blame the ownership of the club because they were the ones that let the man down. It just sort of imploded in itself when the manager was coming out with comments saying that if I win the Champions League with Spurs, I'm going to walk away because I can't do any better. You can't be saying that before a final. That's madness. Do you know what I mean? And you felt like it was all self-imploding. And then Ericsson was coming out after saying he wants a new challenge. It just felt it was all self-imploding on itself.
Yeah.
Guys, we're gonna wrap up in a minute. We're gonna do some amazing plugging because everyone laughs at my plugging. And obviously I'll plug all you amazing people, of course, because that's the main part of it as well. So guys, I'm just gonna say we're 51 subscribers away from 1,000. If you want me to stop doing this, just press that button and I will stop. That was the deal. When I get to 1,000, I will stop plugging my channel. And I will also, of course, Mia, go and subscribe to Mia. Ben, if you're still in here, put everyone's links in the chat. Anyone else that's got a channel in the chat, plug your stuff. I'm always being, and listen, you can all laugh at me about me plugging. I always plug everyone on my channel. And I genuinely mean that. Everyone gets plugged. Tyree, you've not got a channel, and I know Mr. Cousins hasn't got a channel, but you guys have got socials and stuff. So go and subscribe to all these guys, follow these guys on socials and stuff. Listen, we're one community, and I know we will joke about me doing it, but I will genuinely mean it. We're one community. We all do it as a bit of a laugh. We all laugh at each other, but I mean it deeply. You guys are amazing because without you guys, it's just me talking in front of a camera. And so we're going to wrap up. Massive shout out to you all. Hope you're all well and have a lovely weekend. The sun is beaming right now. I'm going to go and get the I'm going to go and get the sun and tan up. There you go. Go and everyone now go and click on Mia and go and subscribe right now. Go and do that. And if you haven't subscribed to me, do so. As I said, oh, come on, who's unsubscribed? Come on, it's not funny anymore. It's not funny anymore. Anyway, guys, listen, I'll leave it at that. Massive shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. I'll leave it at that. Have an amazing weekend and peace out.